A lady in the middle of the night gets a doorbell. Now lucky for her, she has one of those Ring cameras. When she checks her Ring camera, she sees the shadow of a person walking off in the distance. But what she also sees is this white envelope on the ground. Her being really curious, not really thinking too much, she gets up out of bed, she goes downstairs, she makes sure the person is not outside waiting for her by the door. She opens the door, she grabs the envelope, closes the door, and she looks at it. When she opened it, it said, "I need you to send me a picture in the mirror with nothing on. If you don't have a printer, go to the library, put the photos back in this envelope, and leave it on your porch, and I'll collect it. Thank you." Now anybody in their right mind would not do it, so she didn't. Then the next night comes, the doorbell rings again. She checks the Ring camera, she sees this person walking off again, she sees an envelope on the floor. The same thing, repeat. She gets the envelope. This time the message said, "I told you to take a picture with nothing on and send me the pictures inside of the envelope. You have been warned," written at the bottom. Now around this time, she gets really terrified. Really terrified. She calls the police. Police get to the place and they tell her, "So when he comes up to your doorbell and rings the door, you don't see his face?" She said, "Well, yeah, I can see his face if I rewind the footage and I actually check when he approaches my doorbell, but for some reason I never did yet. I just caught him walking off when he rung my doorbell on the Ring camera live." So she decides to go on her footage from her Ring doorbell camera, and she can see this man with this creepy smile after he rung the doorbell. It was so crazy because he don't have on a mask or anything. His face is blatantly in front of the camera, and he knows it. He knows that this camera is looking at him, but he don't care. Police tell her, "All right, ma'am, we'll be on the lookout for him. The minute you hear the doorbell ring, you call us." She says, "Okay." Mind you, this is about to be night 3, and she's not doing the envelope with the photos. Of course she's not. So this is gonna piss that creep off. Night 3 happens. This time the doorbell rings, and it rings because it's really late. 2 a.m. this time. Last time it was ringing around 10 p.m., 11 p.m. This time 2 a.m. She calls the police immediately, but then she hears her back door open. It was one of them doors, every time you open it, it goes dun dun, side door open, or back door open, or front door open. Side door. I hate them so much, but it helped her in this situation because the door late at night said dun dun, back door open. Now she was wondering why the hell was her back door open. Then she remembered she was doing her garden during the day. She forgot to lock the back door. So at this moment she knows that the creep is coming. She locks her room door. She's on the phone with the police. She says, "Yes, this creep is in my house. I think he's trying to do something to me, like murder me, kidnap me, something. Can you please hurry up and come to this address?" Police said, "Yes, ma'am. Stay on the line with me. We're on the way." Now she can hear this person with big boots coming up the steps. So she tells the cop, "Please hurry up. He's coming up the steps." He goes close to the door. Of course, he twists the doorknob. It's locked. He knocks. He knocks and he knocks. And she don't say a word. Now, she don't have a weapon. She don't have nothing. She just have to wait and hope the police make it in time. But this person don't knock anymore. This person actually walks away. Walks from the door because she can hear them big boots walk back downstairs. Police get there. They search the home and he's gone. Now, this creep ended up disappearing for weeks. Didn't show up at her house. She felt like her calling the police scared him away. But it did the opposite. Because that's what he wanted. He wanted her to get comfortable. He wanted her to almost forget about everything, feel relief, which she did. And then it was this final night that then changed everything. She was coming home from a night out with her friends, but she was coming back home alone, out with her friends, enjoying her day, clubbing, had a good time. When she came home and she parked her car, that woman instinct gut feeling kicked in. It's dark, late at night, eerily quiet. She sees the white envelope laying on her front porch. Once again, this time, she's scared to leave out of her car door because she feel like maybe he's hiding in one of the bushes that's on side of the house. Maybe he's on side of the house waiting for me. Maybe he's somewhere around waiting for me to get out the car. So she refuses to get out the car. She didn't really want to call the cops yet because every time she called the cops, he's gone and there's a high chance that he's probably gone. So she said, "You know what? I'll just take the risk. I'll just be quick, hurry up and get out the car, have my keys ready, put it in the doorknob, unlock it, close it." That's exactly what she decided to do. She stepped out the car, she closed the door, she locked her door real quick, her car door. She runs to the house door. She puts the key in. She's wiggling though. She's shaking really hard, and she feels like that this guy is approaching right behind her, but she refuses to turn back. She put the key in, she unlocks the door, she opens it, she grabs the note, and she closes the door. She made it. She made it without getting touched at all. Now, after locking her front door, she opens the envelope, and what she sees is she takes out these 2 pictures out the envelope, and and she looks. It's no message, no nothing, just these two pictures. And she sees that, of course, the creepy one, he took a picture of her, meaning he was coming in and out the house without her even knowing around the times he was taking those pictures. The first thing that she could have thought of is, okay, around the time that he was coming in my house through the back door, when she heard the back door open, he took one of my house keys off of the wall. Because you know, people have their car keys and house keys and all types of keys on the wall so they don't lose their key, so they always know just to put the keys right there. Well, he must have took one of the spare keys, and that's how he was able to enter. But she didn't even think of that because she never touched the spare key. She just always leave it there. Then there's the second photo. It's a red tent. It's kind of hard to see in this photo, but it's there. This was 2 years ago when she was camping in her backyard with her nieces and nephews. They decided to camp in her backyard and stay the whole night. So that means he came up to the tent and took a picture, and he's been stalking her for all of this time. She had no idea. Now, the final and most scariest thing is she goes to check just to see if one of the spare keys is gone, and it is. So she immediately thinks, fuck, he's probably in the house right now. And she sprints out, but he's chasing her down the steps, because when she had that realization that she was walking to her room, she was upstairs. So she runs downstairs, but he's chasing her. He's right behind her. She feel like she's taking all day to get at the bottom of them steps, because he wants her. When he finally gets her, because he's been waiting years for it, it's gonna be bad. So she gets at the bottom of the steps, and she noticed that he just stopped chasing her. So she just runs and runs and runs out the house. She calls the police. The police come to the house, and he's gone yet again. She decides to never step foot in that house again, and she just moves. She said, forget all of my materials. I'll let my family, the guys, come get my materials and bring it to me. She moves. Saves her life. This photo was the last moments caught inside of Jennifer's phone. Now, Jennifer was this girl that loved to camp all alone. She loved to do it so much because it made her feel like she was away from the world. It made her get away. It was peaceful. It was quiet. It wasn't that eerie, dark, creepy feeling that people get if you was to camp alone inside of the woods all night. No, she loved it. She had her own little cabin that she always go to. You pay for it, you rent it out, and you stay there for a couple days to a week, or even a night if you want. This following night, through the photo that you see with this man holding the axe, who seems to be staring up right at Jennifer through the cabin window. Well, later that night, in the middle of the night, she decided to call her boyfriend over and over and over again, but he didn't answer. You know, it was late at night. He had to wake up early for work. He just didn't answer his phone. Well, because he didn't answer his phone, she texts him and she says, there's this man that's walking around with an axe in the woods. He's giving me a weird vibe. What should I do? Now, after this text, she didn't send any more texts. So the boyfriend wakes up in the morning and he get all of the missed calls from his girlfriend Jennifer, and he also get this text. So he call her, but nothing. So he decides to get the police to investigate the whole entire place where she was camping at, in the woods. Well, the police searched the whole entire woods, at least a lot of the woods, didn't find her. They searched all over the cabin, didn't find her, didn't find any evidence except for the phone. Now, gladly, the boyfriend knew the password to the phone, and when the police was investigating the phone, they seen that one picture, the one and only evidence of that whole creepy situation that night. And still to this day, no one knows who this creepy ex person is, and no one knows what even happened to Jennifer. She's still gone, vanished. So this whole thing remains unsolved. Now, if you look at this photo long enough, it will give you the chills. A lady named Samantha was laying down upstairs in her home. She have one of those motion sensor cameras, and when something moves, she get a notification. So she's looking and she's getting all of these notifications, so she decides to look. Now, as she's looking, she don't really know what she's really looking at like that until she see like a shadow of a human figure of a lady. Now, at this exact moment, she's terrified to go downstairs. So she don't go downstairs. She simply just don't. She ends up calling the police. The police get there. They say, we get reports about this same exact lady all the time. And the police said, we even have a sketch of her in the system. We're going to show you how she looked. And the police showed her the sketch of the woman. Now, this woman, when the police searched the house, was nowhere in the house to be seen at all. So she's creeped out. The police telling her, they're like, ma'am, you have to make sure every window is locked, every door is locked. She's a lady that sneaks into homes and almost just walk around your place at night. We believe that she's gone in your fridge to steal food, and that's it. But what makes this whole thing creepy is that no one ever really knew her true intentions. It was all conspiracy theories on why she would sneak in this much people's house. And it was kind of crazy that she still have not been caught. We just have the sketch of her. And now to this day, Samantha always keep everything locked in her home, avoiding this lady. Snacks! Now look, y'all, I did a creepypasta for the first time, a creepypasta series for the first time on my channel, and y'all loved it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do another one. I love creepypastas personally. It's really like a true vibe because you get all types of crazy different stories. Like it truly feels, who needs a horror movie right now? Who needs that when I can just watch a creepypasta? No, seriously. So with that being said, this is a crazy creepypasta video. This one is really gonna give you that feeling, the chills. It's gonna really creep you out. And also, shout out to Koreax Kenshin.
For some reason, he went ahead.
I love that he's uploading daily. You know, when I edit my videos, I can just watch him and just chill and relax. I love you for watching me. And shout out to all of my new supporters. With that being said, I'm going to shut up, stop yapping. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. GGYS. Go get your snacks.
I just started off in your world.
Now that I've seen this photo, I just cannot unsee it. Now, if you don't know what's going on, there's actually a creep in the shadow of the kitchen that's stalking the man who's home alone, at home right now. So, a man was just chilling in his living room and he's watching TV, but he hears something in the kitchen of his home. As he's looking, he don't really see anything in the shadows or in the kitchen at all. He just heard a noise. Now, he don't have any dogs, no pets, no one's home with him currently. He's a single man living all alone. But he hears the noise of what sounds like someone walking or moving in that area. Now, immediately he's thinking, am I hearing things? What is going on? For some odd reason, he decides not to get up out his chair. He decides just to take out his phone and take a picture. Now, he sends this picture to one of his bros, you know, who loves ghosts. They just love to talk about ghosts. They love to talk about aliens. They love conspiracy theories. He have one of them type of friends. And he said, bro, I know that you into the whole ghost stuff. Can you really look at this photo and see if you see anything? Because I'm hearing stuff. I was hearing stuff, but I didn't see anything, so I may have a ghost in my house. Seriously. So as the friend is just looking at this photo, he don't see anything at all. What he decides to do is just, you know, brighten the photo up. And when he did that, it creeped him the hell out because you see this man that was actually stalking him in the shadows of his kitchen the whole time, and he did not have an idea or clue. When he sent this photo back, he said, bro, I brightened the photo up. You can do the same, but someone was stalking you in your home. This is the real life chills right now, because I couldn't just imagine me minding my business, thinking that I'm hearing something and, you know, just playing it off, thinking that it's a ghost, but the whole time I'm actually getting stalked by a potential serial killer or someone. He decides to check his whole entire home, like deep search. And when he looked behind the clothes of his closet, he noticed that in the walls of his closet was a hole. Somebody been living in the walls of his home the whole entire time. He had no idea. He had no clue. He already know in his head that the person who he's seen in this photo, they're in the walls right now. He would not dare to go in that hole to confront this person. Instead, he called 911 and this person was arrested. Now, luckily, this person had no bad intent, but it's just eerie the whole time you're home alone and this person is just watching you do everything. And you have no idea. Crazy. Now, every time I see this picture, it gives me chills. Because what you're seeing in this picture is a guy named Johnny taking it right before he disappeared. Well, he decided to walk after a party, and he had to walk on this highway, and then some driver parked right behind him asking him, does he need a ride? Well, right before he got in the car, he decided to take a picture. And what makes this whole photo creepy is that you cannot see who's in that driver's seat. But we have to backtrack. Earlier that day, Johnny decided to go to a birthday party. You know, they was throwing this big house party and his friends invited him over. He was like, yes, I want a party. I haven't been out the house in a while. Bring me along. So his friends picked him up. He get inside the car. They drive. They listen to the music. They jamming out and they get to the house. Side note, the guy that he's going by, it's not his best friend or somebody he knows really well. He just know of him and talked to him a couple of times. Also, this drive is like 10 minutes away from his home and it's on the countryside. Meaning, when you drive these roads, you drive these long wooded path roads, you don't really see much houses, you don't really see much buildings, stores. It's just eerily quiet with just nature and roads. Now, when they got to the house, This house is placed on land, no neighbors, and just this highway road. Like when we're talking countryside, we're talking the countryside. Like the neighbors is far away. So as soon as they pulled up, they see people outside playing beer pong. They see people just partying, listening to music already, and it's daylight. Party started early. The person who brought Johnny there to the party had to leave. Her name was Alyssa. Alyssa said she had to go and she had to leave early. She had to take care of something really important. But Johnny's friend came along and said, well, it's okay, we'll find another driver, don't worry. So the party continued. He continued to drink, listen to music, jam out, eat, just have a good time. And he was getting drunk. Yes, it is 2 a.m. He's ready to leave, but there's a problem. He looking for his friend, you know, the guy Alex, to see where he's at. He said, we'll find a ride. You know, he's buzzed because he's been drinking and he cannot find Alex nowhere. He decides to call him. He's not answering. Matter of fact, everyone he knew at the party already done left. There was a couple of people still there at the party just partying, but he was ready to leave because it's late. Not knowing what to do, since he don't have a ride back, he did the only thing that he can do, walk back home. Now, like I told y'all in the beginning of the story, it's a 10-minute drive. But if you walk, it's probably like an hour and 30 minutes or an hour. So he put his foot on the ground and just walked in this dark highway path area where people do not walk at. And as he's just walking because he had no choice, some headlights appeared behind him. The assumption is this car already knew that this person was just stranded walking, so they stopped. They wanted to be nice. But for some reason, Johnny decides to take out his phone, take a picture of the situation, which is the picture that you've seen in the beginning of this story. After that, Johnny put his phone in his pocket, and the person rolled down their window and they asked Johnny, where are you headed? Johnny said, oh, my home is just 10 minutes down the road, not too far from here. Come on, get in. Wait, not in a creepy way. Oh, okay, you need a ride? Yeah, come on, get in, I got you. Something like that. Now remember, Johnny is drunk, buzzed. He was wobbling with his walk because he drunk too much. That when the driver was asking him all types of questions, he was kind of dazed and all. He felt really relaxed when he finally got the opportunity to just sit down and relax his body. So he ended up just passing out, falling asleep. Johnny already made too much mistakes. First, you go to a stranger's party, somebody who you barely know, not really a stranger. Yeah, you went with friends, but your friends is a stupid red flag. They left you and you still decided to drink, knowing you have no one to watch you. And then you go inside of this stranger's car and fall asleep. Like, what are we doing? So then he wakes up and notices that they're not on the road to his home. He's on a different road, different route. He really don't know how long he fell asleep for, but he's like, where are we going? Because he don't see anything familiar. The driver ignores him and says, so what are you doing out this late? Johnny panicking, he just says, you can let me out anywhere. And the guy says, no. He looked at his face. He looked at his eyes. He seen how serious he was. And he was not kidding. So then, gladly, he was sitting in the passenger side. It wasn't child lock on. So he was able to hurry up and unbuckle his seatbelt and just jump out the moving car. When he jumped out of the moving car, he was able to stand up. I don't know if adrenaline helped him, that he don't really feel injured or he don't really feel anything broken when he jumped out and rolled out. But once he rolled out, remember, he's in the countryside, so he's surrounded by a lot of trees and woods. So he runs straight in the wooded area because he know that it'll be a harder time for you to try to find me in this big open wooded area, especially since it's late at night. But what he noticed was this man was actually following him in the woods. He had a flashlight. So he leans and he ducks and he hides behind the tree, and he see this man with the flashlight walk right past him. You know, it was just like the movies. Johnny knew he just couldn't make a noise. And he was like, damn, out of all of these spots, he just so happened to walk in the area where I'm hiding at. Johnny decides to get his phone to use as a flashlight as he run, because when he seen him with a flashlight, it gave him an idea. But as he's looking for his phone, because he's wobbling a little bit like that, some branches and trees and make some noise because he's sitting on something. So the guy turned around. Johnny hurry up and takes out his phone again and then take a picture of this person inside of the woods. And you can see this person here. And this was the last moment of Johnny before he truly disappeared. And all we have left is the moments before disaster, getting in the car, and then the moments of disaster when he was in the woods with the creep. Now, nobody knows who this creep is, who this driver is, but it's all scary when you just think that he was just trying to go home. That's it. and it turned into a literal horror movie. This is a screenshot of a tape of a lady called Heidi. Her tapes is called the Heidi tapes, and she would get on camera and she would just talk about murder. She went on this big murder spree in the early 2000s, 2005 and 2006, and the way how she talked about it and expressed it was just giving people the chills. It creeped everybody out who's seen this tape. Not only that, in some of this footage, her house is just eerily dark, look eerily spooky, but she's just talking about the murder and talking about it. It was almost like she was just talking about it with no emotion at all. Well, investigators decided to get all of these videos and tapes removed from online to keep them for themselves, because they want to dig deep inside of this investigation to find out who this lady is. Well, still to this day in 2025, there has been nothing solved with the Heidi killer, this creepypasta story. She has not been solved yet, so people just waiting for her to come back, make a YouTube video, since tapes is not a thing anymore, just to see what will the update be. I don't know. If you ask me, if her name Heidi, run. Now this next story comes from a farmer. It was this couple that lived in this land all alone by themselves, and something strange will happen every time the husband will leave the wife, and every time she gets on the land of the farm, she sees someone and it's all white every single time. She finally had enough of this person just coming up to this like wooded fence, so it's a far distance from her actual property, and just staring at her, so she decides to take out her phone and take a picture. And in this photo that she would eventually show to her husband, she would say, every time that I'm alone, this person would just come and stand by that same fence all the time and just stare at me. But he only does it when I'm alone. When I'm with you out in the land, messing with the animals, dealing with the crops, nothing. At that moment, they know that this person is seriously stalking the two, to the point to where he know the moment that the husband leaves, it's time for him to watch her. This gave her so much PTSD, because when she would be outside alone at night sometimes, she would feel like this person would just come up behind her and immediately attack her. It made her didn't want to really become a farmer anymore, because this was scaring the living out of her. So she came up with a plan. She decided to get two big giant mastiff dogs. Yes, it may have caused the leg and an arm, but every time she's out on the farm, these dogs is going to be right beside her, protecting her, making sure everything goes smooth, everything goes fine. And now when she's alone and she has her dogs, she don't see this person dressed in all white anymore. When her husband leaves, when she gets on her farmland to do her crops, to mess with her animals, to do her lawn, everything, this person just vanished. So she knew eventually the person was going to have the courage to come up to her actually and possibly do something to her, but the dogs possibly saved her life. Now in 2016, it's kind of crazy to think that, the whole killer clown thing, it was internationally, worldwide, creeping everyone out. Now in this photo that you're seeing was a man actually home alone, and he gets a ring on his door. He goes up to the door and he see this clown just staring at him. Immediately he took out his phone, he's laughing, he take the picture, and he's like, come on, what are you doing? Now he's not really creeped out about the clown thing, because at the end of it all, he know that this is all just joke. The person not budging, the person is just still standing in front of the door. Now this kind of made him a little bit unsettled, because the person was just standing there. Even though he know that this is a joke, he really don't want to open and unlock the door to confront this person, because you just really never know. Why take the chance if you really don't have to? So what he decided to do is scare the person. He decided to get out his BB gun, but it looks like a real gun, and pointing at him. But the clown just stood there anyway. Didn't even care, didn't even flinch, didn't even take a step back, just stood there. After minutes and moments of just literally staring at each other, him trying to scare the clown to back off, clown just finally walks off in the distance. And later that night, what ended up happening was that same clown was on the news killing someone with a machete. And he seen this, and it completely creeped him out, because he knew if he would have just opened the door to confront him, just to be on some, look, I know this is a joke, he would have lost his life. He got really lucky that day. Now we got to talk about the night lady. She sneaks in homes at night, and she got away with this crime quite a lot. And this photo that you're seeing here, it's literally the only image we have of her standing on top of a roof. Now it's been many reports around this neighborhood in Houston, Texas, of a lady just sitting on a roof at night. And when I say reports, it's like the rumor. A lot of teenagers and college students, they all seen some strange lady just sitting on a roof, almost look like she's stargazing. Well, it makes everything all creepy, because there's a lady who's sneaking in the houses of Houston, Texas. She walks inside of the bedroom, she creeps on their bed. And people don't really know how she's able also so quiet and why the sons or the daughters are not even screaming. It makes it all so scary on how she's doing it. And in this photo you're seeing is from one of the girls taking a picture of her standing on the roof. It's one of the things that she just loves to do, is just sit on the roof lit at night. And it's not the same roof, it's many different roofs. A lot of people thinking that she's squeezing, she fits through the chimney, and that's how she's able to get inside of these houses and just look and stand over people at night. And that's why she loved to sit on the roofs at nighttime, because she's just waiting for the whole house to get quiet, for everyone to fall asleep, and then she fits and squeezes through the chimney. Well, they even have this sketch of her right here that you're currently seeing, but nobody really never seen that face. That face never really stood out to people at all. Most of the times people just see this lady during the night, and for the few people who did caught this lady just staring at them when they woke up from their sleep, well, she runs off fast enough to where she can't even get caught. A lot of people saying that this is the beginning of something even much more deeper than what we think, which is a potential soon-to-be serial killer. She starts off stalking and staring at you in your sleep, and then she may turn it up a notch and go maybe a little bit more extreme. So with that being said, make sure your chimneys is safe, keep your windows locked, keep the doors locked, and if you see a lady at nighttime wearing a dress, hurry up and get the police involved. Her nickname is the Night Lady for a reason. Now I know I'm doing creepypastas, but yesterday I seen something terrifying. Like, this is a real life situation right here. So I decided to walk late at night to go to the store. It's a store in Bucharest called Mega Image here in Romania. And I'm walking in the middle of the street to cross the street, and I see this girl hiding behind a car away from a man. The first thing that I decided to do is take out my phone and record, because I didn't know why she was hiding at first. And so I'm taking out my phone to record just to distract the creep that may try to get to her. Oh, somebody's recording, let me turn around, because I couldn't see the creep at first. So then I decided to pace back and forth and literally record and record and record. And then I finally see the person that she's hiding from. Now I don't know if this just maybe her trying to hide from her boyfriend and play a prank on her, or hide from her friend, or she's literally hiding from someone. But we finally made eye contact. When she looked at me, she seen that I was recording, but she just popped back up, and then the two started talking and they started giggling. When they started giggling, then I noticed that, okay, she was safe. At first, I literally thought that I was about to watch an abduction. Well, I wasn't gonna watch the abduction. I was gonna save her if something was to happen. That's why I sat there to record. You know, you need your evidence. You need your evidence in this world, because you just never know. But when I seen her just stand up behind the car and the two started giggling, I knew they was friends or girlfriend or boyfriend, one of the two. That was a crazy situation for me at first. But back to these creepypasta stories, because they get disturbing. Now, this story also deals with a living room. We have a mother that's sitting down in the living room, and she sees someone just peeking out the corner, just staring at her. Now she thinks it's her husband. Her husband always like to play jokes on her, prank her, and scare her. She just see this person just staring at her like this, leaning out of the bathroom, and she's saying, "What are you doing? Like, stop just looking at me. Come here." And the person would not come, just still staring and peeping at her. She takes out her phone, she takes a picture, and she see this person just zoom across the hallway. Now she know in her head that it's her husband, but her husband comes back inside because the whole time he was actually mowing the lawn. She just thought, you know, maybe he was taking a break to mess with me and he had to go to the bathroom, so he decided to play a prank on me. But the husband gets back inside and he says, "Honey, what are you talking about?" She says, "You was just staring at me like this out of the bathroom." And look, I took the picture here. When she showed him the picture, he's like, "Love, sweetheart, that is not me." Now, it's not the kids, because the kids are at a summer camp. It's only the husband and wife at the house. The wife noticed that the husband is really serious in this exact situation and no longer playing a prank, you know, so they searched the house as well. They didn't find anything. When the wife with the husband starts to search the house, she called 911 immediately. Police couldn't really do much but just question the two. What's been happening? Anything weird, odd? And the wife, she thought for a second. She said, "Yes. You know what? Matter of fact, I was wondering why my underwear kept disappearing, and I had no idea, no clue, but maybe it's this creep." Because remember, he was inside of the bathroom the moment she took out her phone, took a picture, and caught him just staring at her. The bathroom is where they keep their dirty clothes. Now, if you don't know, inside of this picture that you're seeing, she's laying on the bed. They do have a bathroom inside of their room, but their bathroom haven't been working for years, so they've been using the bathroom in the hallway. So at that exact moment, this creep was probably digging through the dirty clothes, and it just adds a strange touch to the story. But they can never figure out who it was. One of the neighbors, 1000%. It's the neighbors. Like neighbors, a family of 4 decided to go on a vacation in Colorado in the city Aspen. They decided to book an Airbnb. Now, Aspen, Colorado is one of those good places where you should visit in real life in America at least one time in your life because it is amazing. If you into the camping lifestyle, the snowboard lifestyle, the mountain lifestyle, it is beautiful. You would love it. I believe that is one of the top 5 most beautiful places in America at that. So the Jackson family, the family of 4, was so excited for this when they booked the Airbnb and they went inside, and as they toured the Airbnb just to see if everything was fine with the home, it looked exactly like the photos. It was clean, it was beautiful looking, and the house had no problems. Later that night, they would hear something in the attic. Now, it's one of those attics where you pull down the door and then you go upstairs. That night when they heard things in the attic, it wasn't too much to throw them off to where they had to go check, but it threw them off the next day when the kids actually came to the wife and the husband to tell them, Mom, Dad, what's that noise in the attic? It's been keeping me up lately and I don't know what it is. Is it an animal like a raccoon or something like that? It was kind of scaring them out because to them, they said it almost sounded like human footsteps walking on the attic at nighttime. And the father, he couldn't get that out of his head the whole entire day. Even when it was during a time out in Aspen in the city, when they came back, that was still in his head. He could not get it out of his head. So the following night, he said, you know what? If I hear noise again, we're going to group up to check the attic. Long and behold, as they was laying down watching TV, the kids in their room, husband and wife in their room, they heard noise again. The wife whispered to him saying, yeah, you hear that? You hear that? He said, yeah, I do. Now, they don't want the person that's up in the attic because they believe at this very moment someone's in the attic. They don't want them to know that they're up because it's late at night. So he gets up, him and his wife sneak to the room and tell the kids to be quiet as they waking them up and saying, shh, there's someone in the attic. We're gonna go check it out. So he quietly pulled down and then he goes up the steps. He used the flash on his camera because when you pull down the thing to go up the steps, it is pitch black dark up there. You don't want to go just in pitch black dark not knowing what's really up there. So he used his flashlight, and as he's walking up the steps, soon as he get to the very tippy top, he's looking for the light switch to hurry up and cut on because it's too dark. And he does. The wife is right behind him and they're looking and almost immediately they see what's been making the noise inside of the home the whole time. The wife, she gets out her phone and she takes a picture with the husband being right next to her. Now in this photo, as you can see, with a lot of clothes everywhere, furniture everywhere, you see in the distance, it's a lady just staring at them, just staring. At first, they didn't know who this lady was until they seen that this was the profile picture of the Airbnb host. She was the Airbnb host staring in the attic. They got the police involved and she was immediately arrested because in the booking of the Airbnb, it says that you're not staying with someone, because when you book Airbnb, it's going to tell you if you're going to be staying with the owner or not, or if you want the house to yourself. Like, you know what you're booking and getting yourself into. So what she was doing was totally illegal and she got arrested. Okay, so y'all, I have a creepy situation, real life, that I seen in this building. First of all, when I walked, I seen that this door was open. There's this door in this building, it never opened. This one was open. And then there was a door down that you go inside, meaning you're under the ground right now. And I'm like, should I go under? I was having a real life scenario of how it be in the movies. Creepy as. I'm like, should I go under and record this for y'all? I'm really debating, walking around. I'm like, nah, I can't do it. I can't go down there. I wanted to, but no. I decided to just go back up in the apartment room and just call it a day. But that looked creepy and I really wanted to see what was down there because that door never really opened. And it's like a basement down in this apartment building. That was creepy. Now, I'm personally working a night shift in an office building, and I'm talking about like for real, something that I would not do unless I'm getting paid really well. I might keep a taser or some pepper spray or, a pellet gun or something with me, because a lot of the times, you're the janitor doing a night shift, cleaning up, and you have this whole building to do all alone by yourself. People do schools all alone by themselves. People do hospitals all alone by themselves. And people also do these office looking buildings all alone by themselves. They all give me the creeps, chills, just creep me out. And I know I missed one, malls. Malls is, I feel like schools, office buildings, and hospitals is even much more scarier than malls at night. This guy, this janitor, he's there alone at night. at this office building. And you know, he's cleaning up, he's turning off the lights as he go, and it's dark. Now, when he first started doing this, like, he was scared. He was really scared at first. Now that he's used to it, because he's been here for 6 months, he's used to it. And he's really comfortable because there's never been nothing bad happen to him. He never came across someone, no one never scared him. It always been smooth. So he's used to this feeling, this creepy, eerie feeling at night as he's cleaning up. Until this one time, he turned a corner and he see this woman peeking out, staring at the hallway right at him. He take out his phone here, he takes a picture. And the reason why he takes a picture is because he don't want to chase this person. I can already tell that this janitor is black. Because y'all know, on the other stories, I talked about how the janitors, the people, the security who work in the night shift, they chase people. And I'm like, no. Me personally, I would never chase. Because I don't know this creep. I don't know this stranger. I'm not about to chase you. What? So he takes the picture and he just steps back and let this person just fade away back into the other hallway. Immediately, he decides to call police because that's the only thing you can do in these type of situations. That's why a lot of people just hurry up and go to the police. The police does a good search thinking it's just some teenager coming in and sneaking in at night, playing games, but they didn't really see anyone at all. So then there's the next day that this janitor has to work. You know, he's working, he's doing his night shift, everything is going well. He's listening to his music, he's jamming out, so he can't really hear nothing. He's not really on alert because he's just vibing right now, having a good time, right? As he's jamming out, listening to his music, he noticed that in the distance of this hallway, really far, he can see what looked like a shadow peeping out to him like that, yet again. But this time, he don't know if it's a boy or a girl. And last time he knew it was literally a girl. You can literally tell. He takes out his phone here, takes the picture. He don't look at the picture. He leaves the building immediately because he knows what he's seeing. He sees the shadow figure. Now in this picture, it's hard to see, but if I zoom in like this, you can see that this time it's this tall man staring at him. Well, what ended up being a serious investigation in this building, what ended up happening was a cult will come and sneak in this office building every time late at night. They don't really know how they got in, but they was able to sneak in late at night and they would literally just stalk this janitor, waiting for him to leave so they can do their sacrifices inside of this building. And you know, people always wonder why this building had a strange smell, why there was red stains here and there like that. People really didn't know and understand. But now since a cult group was in here waiting for the janitor to leave to do what they needed to do, it all makes sense now. It was a cult group of 15 people arrested. So the whole time the janitor there in that office building by himself, he was really lucky that they didn't make a sacrifice on him. He was just really lucky enough that they was just gonna let him leave first. Really scary situation when you think about it. Now this guy named James was on the internet looking for somebody to cuddle. If you don't know, you could rent out a person to cuddle them. Sometimes 50 to 60 to 70 to $80 per hour. Some people $100 per hour. And he's searching until he found the right person that he wanted to cuddle with. And he found her. She was this girl with short hair. For some reason, this girl just made him feel comfortable. She looked like she was in her early 30s. James, he's 22. But for him, she was a perfect choice. So he booked to cuddle her. The night that she was coming was around 8 p.m. He wanted to cuddle her kind of late. She's knocking on the door. He opens it, seeing that she had a bag. He said, "What's in the bag?" She said, "You will see." He said, "Oh, okay." He closed the door, he locks it, and they go upstairs right to his bedroom. He turned on the TV, the two lay down together, and she unzipped the bag because she bought wine so the two can drink. James said, "You know, I don't drink like that." She said, "But it's okay, trust. It makes the vibe and makes us feel more comfortable when we're strangers." So he said, "You know what, I can understand that." She also said, "It's not strong, so you don't have to worry about that. This is just to loosen you up a little bit and loosen me up a little bit. It is 8 p.m. and I'm with a man. I do want to feel comfortable." He said, "You know what, I totally get it." So she pours him a glass, she pours her a glass, they cheers, and they drink in the bed and sip as they watch TV. They talk, they hold a small conversation, you know, getting to know each other before they start to cuddle. Well, 25 minutes go by, they done with the wine. She didn't pour that much. The two lay down together and they start to cuddle while watching TV. James, his vision started to get really blurry and he ended up passing out. James never opened his eyes or woke up ever again because she got a knife and she done it to him like 30 times. What James didn't know was that she was a serial killer and she bought the wine so she can put something in his drink and sedate him and get him unconscious so she can do whatever she wants to him. Now James was the fourth victim before she was finally caught, but it's also strange because it's like, I know you're hiring a cuddle buddy, but at the end of it all, this person is still a stranger. Sure, you want to trust this person in your home? Now I know we're doing the creepypastas, but I want to step away from the creepypastas real quick because I have a really scary story to tell you. When you hear this siren, when you're in New Zealand, or if you see the signs, don't ignore it. Matter of fact, scratch that. If you're anywhere in life and you see the signs or hear the sirens, never ignore it, or you will possibly 100% die. A group of 7, including Rachel, who's like the main character here, decided to go to this place called Floatcella in New Zealand. It's this crowded boat place where everyone have their floaties and floats and boats, and they just listen to music, jam out, drink, have a good time on the water. It's something that I honestly think that I would enjoy. It looks really, really fun. I know it's packed and crowded, but I think I'd have a good time because I love the water. I know that I'm black, but I can swim and I love the water. The fact, I don't even want to get into that because we're going to get into that deeper in this story, trust. But after Floatcella, they decided to go to an after party, a house party. You know how we are. Being young, we're trying to party, enjoy the nights, have fun all day. Now, even though they wanted to have fun at this house party all day, they really couldn't because they had to wake up early because they tried and they wanted to beat the traffic tomorrow morning because there's another big event going on. And they did. Side note, it's 7 of them, right? And 7 of them driving in 3 separate cars. Now, Rachel, she had the perfect idea as they was about to get in the car and drive up north 3 hours. Rachel said, we have to make a pit stop. There's this nice, beautiful spot where we can swim at. You know, I found it recently. All of the friends like, yeah, okay. They was all down for it. Little did they know that them doing this is about to be literally a hellhole. So they all get in their car, they drive until they get to the spot where Rachel wanted to guide them to. And when they get there, it's this wooded path that you have to get to. And if you look on the map, you see all of these trees as the arrow pointing to the water. That's where they want to swim. But to get there, you have to go through this wooded path that takes about 20 minutes to get there. Now, as this group is about 14 to 15 minutes walking in this wooded area, they hear this loud siren in the woods. They don't really know what this is. They don't know where it's coming from. They just hear it. And immediately, I'm getting scared and I'm getting out of there. Hearing siren noises is so apocalyptic to me. I don't like it. After a half a minute of this sound, it stopped, but they shrugged it off, they ignored it, and they just went straight toward the trail where the water is at. And then they finally get to the water. And on this little rock cliff, it's not too high. You can just jump in this water and you can have a good time and have fun and just swim, which they started to do. Now, as they swimming and enjoying their time, they decided to climb on those rocks. You remember the picture that I showed you here when the arrow was pointing at the water? Well, now they on these rocks here where the red arrow is pointing at. They just standing on the rocks, looking at the view, enjoying their time here with this nice weather. But as they standing on the rocks enjoying their time here, the siren rings again. Loud siren. Now, like I said, they don't really know and they don't understand what this siren is all about. So they're trying to look to find out what is going on. But as they look, it's still beautiful, peaceful, and it's quiet. So they're like, it's not our problem. Let's just have fun and enjoy this. You know, the friends having fun, enjoying their time, taking pictures. You can even see this picture of Rachel here, the girl who is basically the main character of the story. She's very important of the story. You'll see why later. But they're enjoying their time. You know, the 7 friends. And then the siren appears again for the 3rd time, but they ignore it. They almost ignore it like it's a part of nature now. Because they already heard it twice and they didn't see any danger. So it's like nothing is going on. And for me, I'm like, I know because I'm down south, usually when I hear a siren, especially like if I'm in Alabama, if I'm in Mississippi, if I'm in somewhere in Louisiana, this means weather alert. This means tornado for me. This is why this siren gives me PTSD. This is why I'm going to be scared. I don't know if y'all know, but one of my worst fears is getting caught in a thunderstorm. Why, you may ask? I don't know. I hate lightning. I'm just stranded and I'm caught in a thunderstorm. I remember I was caught in a thunderstorm before because I went to Kentucky and I swam in this waterfall, a story that I told about me swimming on this waterfall here on this channel plenty of times, but I never told y'all that when we went for the 2nd time on another year, we was stuck in the woods with this thunderstorm. We could not move. Now imagine them rivers was to flood the whole area. We would have been swept away and gone forever. I remember we was under this big rock. We took a picture before the disaster even happened. We was under this big rock and we had to stay there until the thunder and the storm and the heavy rain went away. It was a little bit flooded, but it wasn't flooded enough to where our life was in danger. Luckily, that was a crazy time. But back to the story. When these group of 7 friends heard this 3rd one, they ignored it, but then it was a new sound right after the third siren. And then they look uphill and then they didn't really see, but they hear this sound, this smashing sound coming from that direction, because the sound is really loud. And actually what was happening and what the siren was, a dam was opening. A big body of water just started coming crashing in towards their direction. Now remember, this is happening very quick. This is why they're standing on the rocks as well. They stood back on the rocks and they started to look at this water, but this happened so quick that the water started to rise. But they're telling each other this cannot happen too long. Maybe it's going to stop really soon, so we just got to stay put on these rocks and don't move. I'm jumping to land to safety so quick. Why stay on the rocks? Why risk it? I'm telling the whole group, let's go now. Let's swim to land. Let's go to the safe spot. So now the rocks is all the way filled up. And now they're touching the water because it is rising way too high. So the rocks that they was on all filled up now. And they see that this water is going to the other side where the other water is. And you don't want to get swept over there. They don't. So they said, you know what? Now we should swim to safety. Now we should get off these rocks because they're already getting filled up with water. They're already filled up with water. So let's swim to safety now. You think? Now it wasn't just that easy to swim up to safety. There's 2 guys and the rest was girls. 5 girls. The 2 guys made it up to a rock that was completely safe. Now the 5 girls was on other rocks. So the guys yelled out and it said, you must swim to us and we'll grab your arm and pull you up to this rock. Because you know this water coming in by the tons, so it's a lot of water that's pushing you. So as soon as you jump in this water, you're flowing with the water. So they must reach out their hand and grab them without missing it, or the worst will happen. Now here's the real photo of what's going on in this exact scenario right now. The guys is on the left side, the girls is on the right side. There's water filling up on their side, the girl's side, as you can see. The guy's hands is out. The girls must make a long enough leap to reach the guy's hand, like I was saying. And I'm not gonna lie, that jump looks pretty far. But one of the first girls to jump, she do it and it worked. She was saved. Then the second girl, she goes, she makes it. The third girl, she goes, she makes it. Then there's the second to last girl, the 4th girl. She jumps. He grabs her arm, but they both fall into the water and get leaped away. The water just made them vanish instantly, farther and farther and farther and farther down. Now remember Rachel, who I was talking about? The main character of this video, well, she's safe. She was like the 2nd or the 3rd girl to be safe. The last girl, her name was actually Alice, and she had a GoPro that extended out. So she wanted to jump, hanging on to the GoPro, hoping that if she don't make it, like she make it a little bit short, you can grab the GoPro and save her. What she kind of did jump short. She didn't make it. The GoPro didn't work. She couldn't hang on to it enough. So she was in the water and she got leaped away. Rachel not thinking, you know, this is one of her close friends. She jumps in the water right after Alice, and she makes it to Alice because she does it right away. And then as she grabs Alice, she grabs the rock, but the rock don't save her because this water is pushing and pushing and pushing, and it just leaps her and Alice away as well. Now I want you to look at the map of this trail that they went to go swimming at. As you can see, it says warning sign stolen. There was a warning sign saying do not swim here, it is very dangerous, but someone stole this warning sign, so they had no idea. And by the E is where they entered at, and you can see the parked cars, and then there's another W for warning sign, and then just all throughout these woods there's little trails. And then remember the dam that opened, you can see that on the left, which is why everything started to flood and why this water started to come in at a rapid pace, making basically half and most of the group getting swept away. Now 3 times a day they open that dam, releasing thousands of gallons of water. Now as some of you, probably most or all of you predicted, the warning sirens was because the dam is about to open. But of course, like I said, they had no idea. They was just having fun, enjoying their time. The instincts really didn't kick in like that, and they really didn't just sit back, relax to actually think, why is sirens happening? I'm pretty sure, even though it's not really said in this story, but I'm pretty sure there was that one friend that was possibly saying, maybe we shouldn't be here. You know, the sirens, I think we should leave, you know, egging the friends to leave, but probably get ignored. We already know that one friend was getting ignored. I truly highly believe that in that group of 7, there was that one friend that was possibly trying to say, look, I don't think we should be here. We shouldn't do this. Now, remember, all of the people who got swept away, there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is all of them survived. The bad news is except for one, and that was Rachel. And that's why I said she's kind of the main character of this whole situation, this whole plot, because she's the only one that passed away. And what makes it scary as well, she was one of the main people to tell the whole group about this place, this spot. It was her idea to come here. And to make it even much more worse, she was safe on the rocks. She decided to jump in and save Alice, and that's what caused her life. That's crazy. Now, because of this whole situation, there is fences with signs all over the area. Because I don't know what douche decided to take the sign. Why would you do that? But even though there's fences with the signs everywhere, people still sneak in to go swimming. And people even still sneak in at night to go swimming, which is crazy. And that dam opens multiple times during the day. I guess the reason why they are so confident is because the sirens always rings beforehand. But what if one day the sirens don't work? Just saying. Then what? You got to think about all outcomes because it's possible.
3-year-old British girl has been abducted in Portugal.
Human trafficking is a massive problem.
24 vanishing in a matter of 2 weeks. What's the theory on what's happening here?
Kidnapped from my friend's front yard by a man that was a total stranger.
More than 1,000 people who have been labeled as a missing person
and were never seen alive again.
This woman was last seen in her home, and she was reporting out to her family that she thinks somebody's out to get her and somebody's stalking her, but nobody believed her.
Hi, Orange Boys. I'm just calling to let you guys know that if something happens... Why are you crying? Because I'm afraid. I'm scared of him.
She was upstairs late at night. She was the only one home. She was watching TV. Just like me, when I'm home alone, even if I'm not, I like to have all the lights off. I'm home alone now, and every light is off outside of my room right now. But she was watching TV with the door wide open. So when you look in the hallway, all you see is pitch black dark. Unlike her, I like to have my door closed with the door locked. One of my biggest fears is waking up with somebody standing over my head because somebody broke in my house. So one of my biggest fears, I do not ever want that to happen. But back to the story. She's watching TV, door wide open, pitch black dark, set in the mood like how I like to do when I'm watching my horror movies. But she hears a noise. It was the sound of something opening and then closing, similar to a window, but I don't think she thought about that when she heard it. She just thought it was her dog because her dog liked to roam around the house late at night, just do what dogs like to do late at night. So she calls out for her dog just to see what the heck our dog doing. No answer. She gets up, she goes in the hallway, she calls out for her dog again, no answer. She goes downstairs, and right as she hit the step to go downstairs, she looked behind her and she see a figure that's all black in the bathroom. I'ma have to give y'all a context on how this looked for her. So this is the concept. This is her walking to go down. Behind her is the bathroom. When she stepped down, she heard a noise and she turned around, and this is what she see. Kid you not. I got the chills from that. I can only imagine. Oh my goodness. So as she turns and she see this person, she sees something long like a Jason knife in his hand. Can't see his face, all black. Something like this. Don't ask me why I have a Jason knife. It's fake. Can't see the person's face because the person wearing all black. So as she's running down the stairs, everything feels like it's gone in slow motion for her. Almost like when you're running in a dream and everything feels very slow. It felt like this for her because she feels like she's gonna die. Not only that, she's turning her head, looking up at this person, seeing how close this person has gotten, which is a bad thing because you can't watch your step. And if you fall, you definitely done. But she makes it down the stairs. She's running at the same time, looking at him again. All of this is like 15 seconds, by the way, shorter than that. And then that's the last footage seen of her. Footage? What do you mean footage? Well, some people in their houses like to have cameras surveilling inside of their homes.
A smart indoor security camera is exactly what you need. They offer a high-definition view, built-in microphones, and speakers for live chat, and simple and familiar control via an app.
That's what she had, and that's how we were able to explain this in very much detail, even though she's missing and was not able to come out and explain her side of the story. But this is a creepypasta, and you know how creepypastas are. They're interesting, but not true. I wanted to dip my foot in the water to give y'all an idea of how dark this video is about to get. So buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you next is all real. Every little last bit of it. Some of it sounds fake on how creepy and weird it is. So I'm just testing the waters with y'all, seeing if y'all ready and y'all prepared for this video. Y'all got y'all snacks? Ooh, okay, I already have the chills of this story even though I didn't explain it yet. That's because I'm creeped out. So a kid named Pedro wanted to go traveling with his dad. He's a truck driver. The dad, Andrew, said, you know what? You can come with me, only if you get good grades. The kid was like, okay. The kid got good grades, so him, the dad, and the mother went on his family trip. Now, truck drivers drive for a very long time, and this is exactly what they had to do, drive for a very long time. But the family was excited, and it felt different for the father because he's doing his work with his family. But then, the truck that this man was driving with the family inside ended up wrecking. It was a horrible wreck, and the truck was badly damaged, but everyone made it out alive, except they couldn't find Pedro. He was missing. What am I talking about? The parents died, the mom and the dad. As investigators checked the crash scene, they didn't see the kid at all as they was checking inside of the truck, crevices of the truck, the whole area where the truck was crashed at. There was no sign. The kid was not here. He was gone, vanished. But then investigators examined the truck's tackles graph. This measures the distance of the truck and the truck stops. Then they noticed something very weird. The image you're seeing now is the road that this family drove on. This is very important because this brings a lot of key weird details in this case story. As you can see, this is this long road that's vacant. This road is just meant to get you from point A to point B. That's all this road is ever good for. You in and out this road. It's no reason why you should stop in this road. But as you can see, this truck stopped here 6+ times, which was very odd. Investigators told themselves, you know, maybe they could have been having some mechanical problems, and that's the reason why the wreck happened in the first place. After the stops, they seen that the truck stopped at a restaurant. They asked the workers at this restaurant, have you seen the family with this kid? His name is Pedro, showed them a picture of the kid. They said, yeah, the family was with the kid, and the family also left with the kid. Interesting. Now, there are some theories that sound so true. Like, so true, and you're about to see why. There's 3 of them. The first one is when the wreck happened, a lot of witnesses, more than one, said they seen a white van pull up to the scene, and they seen this weird couple get out the van, picked up something, and got back in. They don't know what they picked up. Maybe it was the kid, unconscious, and left. Second theory is the family did this whole thing on purpose to traffic their kid. I know, sounds very strange, very unheard of, very weird. See, this theory don't make sense with me though, because it's like, yeah, we know the family died, and yes, we know it wasn't their plan to die, but they was gonna wreck his work truck just so some creeps in a white van could scoop his kid for money? Or for whatever reason, trafficking wise? And then there's the last theory, the theory that completely got me the most. When the crash happened, the kid completely survived. Maybe the kid was thrown out the truck from the crash, or maybe the kid managed to escape from out the truck, being a little unconscious from the crash, and due to the injuries, the kid had a very serious head injury and walked off from the scene. Now, this is the reason why I believe this out of all of the theories the most. Now, just listen to this, it's all gonna add up and it's gonna make sense. Girl named Carol, completely different story, but just sit back, relax, and just watch. A girl named Carol is a dispatcher. She was coming home from work, and then she sees this car swerve to dodge another car, and Carol ends up running into that car that the other car swerved from. Now, Carol's car is totaled. The car that Carol ends up running into is a lady named Patricia, her car. So Carol's car gets totaled. She gets out the car. She's able to walk and recover from this accident. She's fine. She just got a little head injury. She could feel it. She goes up to Patricia and she asks her, are you okay? Patricia, she looks up. She looks at her. And really don't look at her, almost look through her. Don't say a word, and it was looking like she was in a trance. And remember that car that swerved away from Patricia's car to dodge the wreck? Well, they got out to check up on the two, but as they noticed some weird behavior from Patricia. As Carol walked away to call an ambulance because this wreck is crazy, they seen her hop over the gate, climb over the gate, you know, the little gates that be on the roads, look out into the distance, and stood in this trance again, and just walked away. Now, during this time, of course, nobody knew who this lady was. We know who she is now, because this was years ago. Her name was Patricia. They ended up finding out who she is. But when she walked away, they really couldn't figure out why she did that. Now that she's missing and was never seen again, just like the boy Pedro, they found it weird that she was in this trance and she was staring off and just walked into the distance, into the woods. Because maybe the car crash, the injury of her head, messed her up so bad and did her like it could have did Pedro, and they both, Pedro and her, walked into the woods and went so deep out and it was just never found. That's why I believe this theory, because there's a similar case, Patricia, the one that I just said, of a wreck, of somebody just disappearing without a trace. They don't know where she's at till this day. Just like Pedro, they don't know where he's at to this day. Now, like I said, these are two completely both different cases that don't connect at all. For each one, they had scent dogs to try to follow and smell the scent of these people. Pedro, Patricia, nothing. What? They checked a lot and covered a lot of the area for both sides of the case. Nothing. And I don't know if y'all thinking what I'm thinking, but a person that's badly injured from a wreck that's so crazy cannot go that far and that far and that far to where they cannot be found at all. So it makes it completely creepy and weird, because like, what actually is going on? But then the day before, somebody usually come out, family member, friends, and say, you know, they was acting very weird before they disappeared. That's exactly what both sides of family said. And it's not like they had any injuries when they was acting weird. They was perfectly fine. They was just acting weird before they vanished and before the wreck happened. So it's just so completely creepy and weird as fuck. Now, remember that story that I told y'all at the beginning of this story of the girl who likes to be in her home alone? Well, Jennifer, the family started to notice that she wasn't picking up her phone at all. It was going straight to voice message. They found it weird because it's not like her. They had somebody to check her apartment. These stories be creeping me out. I thought I heard somebody outside of my door. Whew. Where was I? When they get somebody to check her apartment, he described it and they took pictures.
We actually found 2 or 3 outfits laid out on her bed. Shower was still damp. Her towel was still damp. Her work stuff was not there. So we knew that, okay, she got ready for work.
First, he goes to the bathroom. Not first, I don't know the order, but when he goes to the bathroom, he tells the family while they're on a call, the towel is still a little damp, so she must have just took a shower, and another towel is here. It's green. Go to the bedroom. Well, her bed, everything looks perfectly fine. It's a clean bedroom. Living room looks perfectly fine. There's a little trash here and there in the kitchen, but that's about it. When the family get to her place, they notice, okay, it's exactly how he described it.
Jennifer, we just want you to know we love you. We're doing everything we can to...
Her car was found in a whole nother apartment complex. When police investigated this car, they noticed that it was DNA from another person that Jennifer didn't know.
Bo circled Kessie's car and immediately led Brown and 2 other officers out of the apartment complex. At times, they had to run to keep up with the dog. Well, the dog was not only tracking a person, but a person in a car.
And she didn't know anybody in this apartment complex. But this person DNA wasn't in a database, the police database, so they didn't have no idea who this person was at all. But then they checked surveillance. Well, first, when they investigated the car, they noticed this car was wiped down to clear up any evidence. The police also came out and said there were also no signs of a struggle. Remember, the surveillance. They seen that this man actually parked her car here to another apartment complex, not the one that she lives in, sat there in a trance for like 30 minutes, got out the car, walked away, and when they can spot his face, the gate was sadly in the way, so they didn't know who this person was because it was like one of those motion surveillance cameras, if you know what I mean. So that can only tell us one thing. This person was inside of Jennifer's place, did something to her, got a hold of her keys, parked her car in a whole nother apartment complex, left it, ditched it. Because Jennifer, she does live alone. We don't know what may have led up to how he got in there. We don't know. The only evidence that anybody knows is that this person dropped the car off at another apartment complex to throw the police off. And every angle that they can see the man in, a fence in the gate was blocking the man's face, which was completely unfortunate. So it could have been, or it definitely have been, a situation before she disappeared that she was probably getting stalked. She came face to face to this guy and she was running away from this guy, but this person was able to move in a way where he just didn't get caught, and still haven't got caught to this day because she's still missing and nobody knows where Jennifer is at.
But it could have been a stranger?
Could have been a stranger.
But nothing was stolen, so it doesn't seem like it was a robbery. Her credit cards weren't used. Wouldn't that have suggested somebody tried to rob her?
No, it suggested that whoever it was knew how to cover their tracks. Could we have a serial killer that was passing through the area?
Could she be human trafficked?
With that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this story. It is always strange and difficult to me on how somebody could just disappear in the most strangest ways, because it genuinely sounds like it's off of a movie. It does not sound real, but it is. With that being said, I love y'all. Stay safe. Keep weapons. Y'all see I got weapons all around. Like, I was just saying safe. But alright, y'all know when I turned my head and I got scared because I thought something was outside of my room because I thought I heard something. I'm home alone. I'm about to show y'all what just scared the out of me just now, and it's the second time that this done happened. Okay, so I was turning on the lights, seriously checking my house because I thought I heard footsteps, and I'm not even kidding to y'all right now. I'm walking down this hallway, right? I'm gonna have to turn on flash for this. Don't mind this dark room either, I know. Creepy vibes, especially the vibe of this video. And this was what got me. That right there. This is the second time that this done scared me. This is my own. With that being said, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this creepypasta, because truly, like, I love doing them. I love doing them. Like I said, it's like watching a horror movie, but for some people, they love this type of vibe more than a horror movie because you feel even real more connected with the stories. But with that being said, more videos to come, more crime cases and true stories to come, and more creepypastas to come. I love y'all. Take care, stay safe. And until next time, bye.
If you really wanna fuck with me, girl, maybe you should come try and see.